Well, the time is now 12:01 p.m., and I will call the meeting of the District of Columbia Board of Ethics and Government Accountability to get to order. This is our October 2021 meeting. I'll start out by just apologizing ahead of time. There's some construction going on in the home next to me, so hopefully you won't hear any pounding or drilling, but if you do, that's where it's coming from, and I hope it isn't too disruptive to the meeting. Okay, I'm Norma Hutcheson. I'm the BEGA Chairperson, and due to COVID-19, this meeting is being held virtually via WebEx. Joining me today for this meeting are board members Charles Nottingham, Melissa Tucker, Felice Smith, and Darrin Sobin. Together, we constitute a quorum for this meeting. Since it was first posted, the meeting agenda has not been changed in any way, but I ask that board members take a minute to review the agenda, and then if someone would make a motion to adopt it.
I'll offer the motion that we adopt the minutes as presented.
Okay, right now we're just trying to do the agenda.
Excuse me, the agenda. I'd like to offer the motion. Getting ahead of myself.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any questions or comments about it? If none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposition? Okay. Now we'll move to the minutes from our September 2021 meeting. There was a draft that was circulated, and if you would review that, and then we can entertain a motion to adopt the minutes if there are no changes.
I do see that at the end of the minutes, there's an acknowledgement of a public comment, and then the public comment itself is set out by Patricia Miller.
Yes.
Is this the first time we're seeing that?
I don't recall it from last time, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Right. So this is just so for clarification purposes, this message, this public statement was submitted either before, during, or after the meeting, because it wasn't testified to at our meeting, right?
No.
It was received, sorry, this is Rashi. It was received before the meeting, and I had uploaded it to the box.
Okay. All right, then perhaps I did not acknowledge it during the course of the meeting. But it should have been added, it should be added to the meeting minutes because that's what we say that we're going to do.
Okay.
Okay. So with that clarification, do we have a motion to accept the minutes from September?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, and we can move to the next agenda item, and that is a report from our Office of Open Government, Director Niquelle Allen. Ms. Allen, please proceed.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Chairperson Hutcheson and members of the board. I am Niquelle Allen, Director of Open Government. I am pleased to present this report on the activities of the Office of Open Government. Since the last board meeting, the Office of Open Government has continued to fulfill its mission of ensuring that all persons receive full and complete information regarding the affairs of the district government and the action of those who represent them. I'll start with Open Meetings Act and Freedom of Information Act advice rendered by the office. Advisory opinions. On September 20th, 2021, I issued advisory opinion number 0OG-2021-001M concerning the District of Columbia Public Charter School Board's compliance with the Open Meetings Act. My review of the matter led me to the following findings. First, the DC Public Charter School Board violated the Open Meetings Act notice of meeting provisions when it did not provide timely public notice of its April 5th, 2021 special meeting on its website, on the central meeting calendar, and in the DC Register. And 2, it was practicable for the DC Public Charter School Board to publish its notice in the DC Register, yet they failed to do so. Pursuant to 3 DCMR Section 10404, I conducted a successful conciliation meeting with the complainant and the DC Public Charter School Board and resolved the matter. Pursuant to 3 DCMR Section 10404.2, I issued the advisory opinion to instruct the public on the issue in dispute. I recommended the following compliance directives to the DC Public Charter School Board. 1, provide as much advance notice to the public as possible on its website or on the central meeting calendar, which is located on open-dc.gov, but not less than 48 hours or 2 business days, whichever is greater before the meeting. 2, publish all future meeting dates in the DC Register. 3, report to the Office of Open Government within 30 days of the issuance of this advisory opinion of their plan to correct the staff error that resulted in the noncompliance. And 4, undergo Open Meetings Act training with the Office of Open Government legal staff on dates determined by me. For your review, a copy of the advisory opinion is in the Dropbox. The next item is formal Freedom of Information Act advice. The rules modifying FOIA requests due to have expired due to the reopening of some District of Columbia government agencies and Mayor's Order 2021-096, ending the public health emergency. As you know, BEGA's offices remain closed to the public due to COVID-19. Informal Open Meetings Act advice and Freedom of Information advice. Since the last board meeting, OOG responded informally via email or telephone to requests for assistance as follows. The office responded to 11 requests for open meetings advice. The office responded to 10 requests for Freedom of Information advice, and the office responded to 28 requests for technical assistance with open-dc.gov. The next items are training and outreach. First is the ethics training course. On August 17th, 2021, the Office of the Attorney General offered Last Chance Ethics Training course. The trainer's interactive presentation discussed scenarios on how the government attorney should handle difficult predicaments in an ethical manner. OOG's legal staff attended this training. Missouri Bar's annual ethics program on September 8th through 9th and September 15th, Attorney Advisor Weil attended the Missouri Bar's annual ethics meeting. The program consisted of a 2021 update on lawyer ethics issues, such as the recent amendment to the Missouri Rules of Professional Conduct, recently published opinions, and other timely ethics issues and resources. Review of data from the attorney discipline system that discussed recent cases, the requirement to report another lawyer's misconduct, and helpful pointers on responding to an ethics investigation. The meeting also consisted of a training on best practices for the practitioner working remotely, navigating WebEx hearings and depositions. This session was led by a panel that included a judge from the St. Louis Circuit Court discussing practices for remote courtroom and deposition experiences. Some of the topics discussed were the continued importance of ensuring that clients, witnesses, deponents arrive on time, follow dress codes, and contact their lawyer in advance if they aren't able to have a reliable internet connection at home. The next item is Freedom of Information Act training. On September 15th, 2021, Chief Counsel Barton presented a FOIA training for the Public Service Commission. The training was well received, and attorneys DeBerry and Orgy were in attendance. The next item is the Parliamentary Procedure webinar. On September 15th, 2021, I facilitated the Robert's Rules of Order Training Portal Development webinar. Administrative points of contact were invited to preview the project and provide insight and feedback. The portal was curated by Susan Leahy, a board dynamics and Robert's Rules of Order expert. The webinar was well attended and well received. The next item, roundtable on reopening schools. On September 21st, the Committee of the Whole convened a roundtable to discuss the reopening of the District of Columbia Public Schools and the District of Columbia Public Charter Schools. The purpose of the roundtable was to hear from parents and stakeholders on the experience of the first few weeks of in-person school for the 2021-2022 school year amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The designated executive agencies in attendance were DCPS, the Office of the State Superintendent of Education, Deputy Mayor of Education, and the Public Charter School Board. Many of the parents stressed their concern about the health and safety of their vaccinated children, unvaccinated children, and the lack of a remote learning option during the COVID-19 pandemic. Attorney Advisor DeBerry attended the meeting, and as you know, she is our education attorney. The next item, the 17th Annual Career Strategies Conference on September 22nd through 25th. I attended the Corporate Council Women of Color Conference in Los Angeles. The conference included seminars on government compliance trends, employment law issues related to COVID-19, environmental and social governance programs, and diversity in the workplace. I attended the following seminars: Government Investigations and Compliance 2021 Trends, 10 Lessons Learned from Managing the Legal Function Through a Global Pandemic, Cybersecurity and Global Privacy Trends 2021, IP 2021 Trends, Mental Health for Lawyers, 10 Strategies for Managing Stress During the Pandemic and Staying Resilient, Navigating Life's Personal and Health Challenges, Taking Risk and Seizing Opportunities to Fast Track and Catapult Your Career, Using Your Voice and Your Power to Effectuate Change in the Workplace, Body Language 2.0, How to Read the Room, and be it on Zoom and in the workplace. The next item is parliamentary procedure training for the fatality review committees and boards. On September 23rd, I, along with Chief Counsel Barton, attended a parliamentary procedure training for the fatality review committees and boards. The training was facilitated by Susan Leahy of Robert's Rules Made Simple. The session gave an overview of Robert's Rules of Order and how to conduct meetings efficiently. The webinar is on our training portal now, and hopefully you've had opportunity to be on the portal, but I'll discuss that later in the presentation report. The next item are litigation and legislative updates. OOG is monitoring FOIA-related cases in D.C. Superior Court, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit, the United States Court for the District of Columbia, and nationwide. The agency is not a party to any of the lawsuits that I'll discuss today. I am providing this information for the board's awareness of litigation that may impact the interpretation and operation of D.C. FOIA law. The first matter, which we have discussed in past board meetings, is the TPM lawsuit regarding preliminary budget requests. As you may recall, on July 13th, 2020, TPM sued the district under D.C. FOIA, alleging that the district failed to produce online various budget-related documents related to the Office of the State Superintendent of Education and District of Columbia Public Schools. The case remains ready for briefing in the Court of Appeals. The case was referred to mediation for possible settlement on September 1st, 2021, but screened back out, i.e. returned to the court's advice docket on September 24th, 2021. The next case is the ACLU lawsuit regarding stop and frisk. On February 16th, 2021, the American Civil Liberties Union of the District of Columbia sued the district government seeking records concerning stop and frisk by the Metropolitan Police Department. A new status hearing was set for October 1st, 2021. The parties remain in settlement negotiation over the sole remaining issue of attorney's fees, and the October 2021 status hearing is continued to December 17th, 2021 at 11 a.m. The next matter is the FOIA lawsuit concerning autopsy records. This is the District of Columbia case. It's Judicial Watch versus the District of Columbia. On March 19th, 2021, the plaintiff, Judicial Watch, filed a lawsuit under DC FOIA appealing the denial of plaintiff's 2 FOIA requests to the Chief Medical Examiner for the District of Columbia. The requester filed the lawsuit while the FOIA appeals to the Mayor's Office of Legal Counsel were undecided. The FOIA request was for the autopsy records of Police Officer Brian Sicknick, and the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner denied access to certain records, citing the personal privacy exemption to the and the investigatory records exemption and other statutory exemptions. OCME's enabling legislation require an authorization from the next of kin, a court order, or a subpoena to release the records. The plaintiff failed to provide OCME with any of the statutory required documents. The Mayor's Office of Legal Counsel issued a combined decision to the plaintiffs 2 administrative FOIA appeals. The Mayor's Office of Legal Counsel affirmed the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner's decisions to withhold the case file concerning the issue, but remanded OCME's decisions concerning electronic communications, requesting that OCME conduct a search to determine whether the electronic communications exist that are responsive to the plaintiff's request. In this suit, the plaintiff requests that the D.C. Superior Court order the district to conduct a search for records in response to the plaintiff's request and enjoin the district from withholding relevant records. On May 28th, the district filed a motion to dismiss the plaintiff's complaint, or in the alternative, a motion for subject summary judgment. On July 2nd, the plaintiff filed a motion for leave to amend its complaint after the plaintiff's second FOIA request was denied by the Chief Medical Examiner and upheld by the Mayor's Office on appeal. The district filed an opposition to the plaintiff's motion on July 16th. On July 30th, the D.C. Superior Court granted the plaintiff's motion for leave to amend, accepted the plaintiff's amended complaint, and denied the defendant's motion to dismiss the plaintiff's original complaint because it was moot. In its opposition, the district argues that the court should deny the plaintiff's motion to amend on futility grounds because the plaintiff lacks standing to bring this claim either through the original complaint or through the proposed amendment because it was not the party that filed the complaint. The court found that the plaintiff's pleading was not futile to standing because FOIA creates a private right of action for a requester when the request is denied. The court also found that the plaintiff had standing because the plaintiff was an organization listed as the FOIA requester and therefore sustained an injury in fact. The court found that the defendant would suffer no undue prejudice if the plaintiff was allowed to amend its original complaint, and it noted that this was the plaintiff's first request to amend its complaint. The plaintiff's motion was granted. On August 13th, the court granted the district's request to extend the time to respond to the plaintiff's amended complaint and continue to August 20th, the initial scheduling conference. On September 28th, the court issued an order granting the district's second motion to extend time to respond to plaintiff's amended complaint, and the initial scheduling conference is continued until October 29th. And the office will continue to monitor this important case. The next item is video recording records access at the U.S. Capitol. In an interlocutory ruling in the United States versus Torrens issued on September 15th, 2021, the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia granted petitioners, a coalition of media organizations, access to certain videos taken from the January 6, 2021 breach of the U.S. Capitol, taken from the Capitol and the Capitol closed circuit video system. Although this is not a FOIA matter, the media organizations had cited the court's standing order, which provides, among other things, that due to the restricted courthouse access and the COVID-19 pandemic, members of the media provided access to a video exhibits a particular case that may view these exhibits using an electronic Dropbox. The U.S. government opposed the release of the 5 contested videos on the grounds that the release would create a security risk and urged the court to accept the defendant's plea because of the written statement of offense and without considering the video exhibits so that the videos would not become judicial records subject to the right of public access. The court held the government had not rebutted the Leopold-Hubbard-Strachan presumption in favor of public access and ordered the government to promptly make the video evidence publicly available without restrictions using the Dropbox technical solution described in the standing order. The next matter is the Alabama Supreme Court case limiting access to body-worn camera recordings via FOIA. Something Extra Publishing Incorporated, doing business as Lagnappy Weekly versus Mack et al. Is the case. And on September 24th, 2021, the Alabama Supreme Court held in an 8-1 decision that body-worn camera footage are investigatory records that are exempt from disclosure under Alabama's open records law. The plaintiff sought records related to a police shooting of Jonathan Victor. They included a dash cam, body cam, and third-party video, the audio from any 911 calls or radio communications, photographs from the scene, autopsy records, and communications such as emails, texts, and other forms of messaging. This is very broad by the district standards. In upholding the lower court's ruling, the Alabama Supreme Court held that law enforcement investigative records and related investigative materials are not public records. The court reasoned that they relate to investigative reports, and the exemption applies not only to a police officer's work product, but all documents related to a particular investigation. So we will continue to monitor this matter as well. The next item is council actions on amendment to DC Foia and the OMA and a proposed resolution. During its October 5th legislative session, the Council of the District of Columbia enacted emergency amendments to DC Foia and the Open Meetings Act and adopted a resolution appointing an interim executive director to the Office of Advisory Neighborhood Commissions. So the legislation follows. So the first is the OMA legislation, which is still, I'm skipping down a little bit from what you may be seeing. As Bill 24-384, the Post-Public Health Emergency Protections Extension Amendment Act of 2021. The measure continues in effect from March 11, 2020 through December 31st, 2022. Amendments to the Open Meetings Act previously enacted due to the public health emergency. Under the law, first, a meeting continues to be deemed open to the public when the public takes steps reasonably calculated to allow the public to view or hear the meeting while it's taking place, or if doing so is not technologically feasible, as soon as thereafter reasonably practicable. And two, the OMA's physical posting of the public meeting notice requirement is waived. The council approved this on first reading, and it is the Post-Public Health Emergency Protections Extension Temporary Amendment Act of 2021, and the temporary measure mirrors the emergency bill. FOIA legislation, Bill 24-0376 is the foreclosure moratorium extension, scheduled eviction assistance, public emergency extension, and FOIA tolling emergency amendment act of 2021, and Bill 24-0377 foreclosure moratorium extension, scheduled eviction assistance, public emergency extension, and FOIA tolling temporary amendment act of 2021. As introduced by Chairman Mendelson, these bills would have extended the last remaining pandemic basis for a public body to delay its response to a DC FOIA request. Under the statute as it's in effect today, public bodies can, by written notice to the requester, extend the time limit for a response where there is a, quote, need to conduct an on-site review of records that could present a significant health risk or safety due to the COVID-19 closure. The code-specific language is currently set to expire on October 27, 2021, along with the expiration of DC Law 23-267, which is the FOIA Tolling Temporary Amendment Act of 2020. Section 4 of each of the new bills would have effectively renewed Subchapter D for 90 and 225 days, respectively, depending on the type of the bill. Councilmember Allen introduced an amendment to each of the bills to strike out that operative portion in Section 4 before the measures in chief were adopted. Councilmember Allen stated his concern that the bills would give the public bodies excessive discretion, and that in any case there is, quote, no agencies that we know of that are still closed, in the sense that nobody is going into the office to make search for responsive records. Generally, the public has a very strong interest in transparent government, and FOIA is a big part of that. There were certainly times during the height of the pandemic when it was truly not safe to go into government buildings to search for that records, but that time has passed. Some offices are back in the building full time. Indeed, some of my colleagues are participating in this very meeting from the Wilson building. There is no justification for continuing to toll the FOIA response requirements, end quote. Chairman Mendelson expressed his reluctance about these amendments, and that's also a quote because, quote, this matter came to him at the last minute. My office has not had the time, has not had the ability to survey agencies, and I don't know, agencies may have not focused on this amendment because they probably assumed that the tolling of the FOIA deadlines would continue. So in the absence of comment from agencies that they need this, I'm not sure that this is dispositive, end quote. But the amendments ultimately pass without objection. In some, the bills as finally passed do not affect the status quo, and the standard time limits for response to FOIA requests will return in force on October 27, 2021. The bills as introduced and Council Members Allen amendments and written statements of the rationale are uploaded to the Dropbox. The next matter from the DC Council is a resolution appointing the interim director to the Office of Advisory Neighborhood Commissions. The Council adopted Resolution 24-241 that appoints Jeanette Grant, interim director of the Office of Advisory Neighborhood Commissions. Its former director, Gottlieb Simon, is retiring after many years of service. I would like to publicly say that I appreciate Mr. Simon's commitment to ensuring that advisory neighborhood commissioners were aware of their FOIA obligations and responsibilities to conduct their business in an open and transparent manner. I look forward to working with Interim Director Grant and offer her congratulations on her appointment. Open Meetings Act Complaint Conference is the last matter in the litigation and legislation section. On October 6, 2021, the Office of Open Government conducted a meeting with the Historic Preservation Review Board to discuss complaint number OOG-2021-007-M. The purpose of the meeting was to gain clarity on how this board conducts its official business and keeps its official records. During the meeting, David Lee, Senior Counsel of the Office of Planning, explained the public body's hearing process and what is considered an official action under this board's regulations. We were advised that the electronic meetings of the public body meetings are the Historic Preservation Review Board's official record, and subsequent business actions are an unofficial summary. The business actions are not the same as meeting minutes under the Open Meetings Act and are not adopted by the public body and are not part of the official records. The business actions are not considered an official action. At the conclusion of the meeting, our office gained an understanding of this board's meeting procedures, and this board was informed that an advisory opinion would be issued to address the complaint. The next matters that I'm reporting on today are administrative matters. The first is the Parliamentary Procedure Training Portal Project. The training portal, which is Robert's Rules Made Simple for DC Government, is running, and there is a link to the training portal on open-dc.gov. I am doing a soft launch of the portal during Ethics Week, which will be a brief presentation of what the portal has to offer. The portal includes webinars on Robert's Rules of Order and related training materials. I hope you have been able to access and use the portal. The target audience for the first rollout of the trainings on the portal are the administrative points of contact for boards and commissions. We're looking to sign up more board and commission members in the next launch of the portal for that audience when Vega does the joint ethics and open meetings training for new board members and commissioners. Next is to the new Vega staff positions. OOG will be hiring a paralegal specialist, and we are working with the Department of Human Resources to create a position classification. Once the position is classified, we will begin recruiting for the position. OOG will also work with the Office of Government Ethics on the Chief of Staff position. As you may recall, that employee will report to both directors and will supervise all administrative matters, including but not limited to budget, contracting, procurement, human resources, facilities, and information technology. The next item is return to the workplace plan. On October 4th, 2021, Vega began the implementation of its return to the workplace plan. Currently, managers, administrative staff are required to be in the office at least one day of the week, and all other staff members may report voluntarily. I have provided a copy of the OOG staff schedule, in-office schedule plan for your information in the Dropbox, and our plan, so the schedule and the plan. Next is the hearing room update. The project to upgrade the equipment in Vega's hearing room was completed on September 26, 2021. The project included the replacement and installation of 2 components of the audiovisual system, a recording or inventory of all existing equipment, and software upgrades. Terrell Dow and Kevon Bridges have been trained regarding the new audiovisual systems operations. Today, the Office of the Chief Technology Officer is in Vega's offices connecting the new Cisco equipment to their telecommunications network. As a result of Octo's work today, the hearing room is ready for in-person and remote meetings using the upgraded system. The next matter is the Vega office relocation. Acting Director Cooks, General Raj, and I have been meeting with the Department of General Services, DGS, regarding the agency's move to a new location. DGS is exploring several options on behalf of Vega, and we met with DGS representatives on September 30th and October 6th regarding the proposed relocation. We will update the board as more information becomes available. The next matter is FY23 budget formulation. Vega has commenced the planning process for the FY23 budget. On September 23rd, 2021, the Executive Office of the Mayor hosted the FY23 budget kickoff virtually. It included a series of meeting and instructions concerning the budget formulation documents and methodology for planning for fiscal year 23. I met with Acting Director Cooks on Monday, October 4th, to discuss Vega's budget and our strategy for completing the FY23 budget process. We will update you as the process unfolds, and we expect that Vega's FY23 budget will include funding for the relocation. The next matter is OOG Exemplary Performance Awardee, Chief Counsel Johnny Barton. I am pleased to announce that Chief Counsel Barton received an Exemplary Performance Award for FY22 for his job performance. Mr. Barton's work on the body-worn camera advisory opinion had far-reaching impacts in the District of Columbia, especially during the police reform process. Mr. Barton's extensive research led to the overall effectiveness and persuasiveness of the opinion, which has been widely cited. I would like to publicly thank him for all of his hard work and dedication to open government in the District of Columbia, and offer him congratulations. Last matter is the Vega Continuity of Operations Plan, or COOP. Vega initially formulated its Continuity of Operations Plan on March 12, 2020. The plan did not contain specifics about OOG because at that time it was only Johnny and I, Chief Counsel Barton and I, a staff of 2. Now that OOG has a full staff, the plan was revised on September 15, 2021 to include Office of Open Government specific plans and staff members. The portion of the COOP plan that includes OOG is provided in the Dropbox for your information. This concludes the Office of the Open Government October 7th, 2021 report. Thank you for your attention, and I'm pleased to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, and congratulations to Mr. Barton on his performance award. Are there any questions for Director Allen?
I have a question, but it's more appropriate for the executive session, and I'm not sure, Director Allen, if you are in those, because I see it's mostly today going to be about the fine waivers.
I will be there today.
You will be there? Okay, good, because I have something I'd like to raise.
Okay.
Nice work. You guys did a heck of a lot of work this past month.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything else for Director Allen? Okay, if not, we'll move to our Office of Government Ethics report. Acting Director of the Office of Government Ethics, Ashley Cooks, please go forward with your report.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Hutcheson and members of the board. I'm Ashley Cooks, the Acting Director of Government Ethics. I am pleased to present this report on the activities of the Office of Government Ethics, OGE. Update on status of OGE operations. The information reported today regarding OGE's cases will not reflect any status changes that may occur as a result of actions taken by the board during today's meeting. First, open investigations by status. We have a grand total of 59 open investigations. Open undocketed matters, we have a grand total of 8 undocketed matters. Pending state investigations by status, we have 25 closed pending collection matters, 1 closed pending DC Superior Court case matter, 4 matters that are stayed for OAG False Claims Act cases, 8 matters that are stayed for an OIG investigation, and 1 matter that is stayed pending a U.S. District Court case, for a grand total of 39 matters that are stayed or pending. Regulatory matters by status, we have 24 closed pending collection matters and 17 open regulatory matters, which we will discuss today in the executive session, for a grand total of 41 matters. For this month, again, we have 59 open investigations with 13 stayed. Last month in September, we had 57 open investigations with 14 stayed. And in August, we had 53 open investigations with 14 state investigations. The number of open preliminary and formal investigations includes 9 new matters filed in September. The investigative team resolved 7 preliminary investigations since the last board meeting. Auditor Tajuba completed the quarterly complaint report for FY 2021, quarter 1, and it has been posted to our website. A copy was uploaded to the Dropbox for your review. Next is training and outreach. First is professional development trainings attended by staff. During the month of September, OGE's legal staff and I attended the 2021 Society of Corporate Compliance and Ethics, SCCE 20th Annual Compliance and Ethics Institute, The institute ran Monday through Wednesday, September 20th through the 22nd. Some of the most relevant and interesting sessions were writing investigative reports, a 6-step process, business and private ethics, does such a distinction exist or even make sense, the role of leadership in an effective compliance program, why, how, and what to do to effectively engage leadership in your organization, willful blindness, why we fail to see what we need to see, and lessons from 60 Code of Conduct projects. What are 5 things you need for a best in-class code? Program specialist Stan Kosick completed 2 trainings, becoming an accountable professional in ethics and project management. Program support assistant Tyrell Dow completed the Department of Small and Local Business Development's compliance training. Senior attorney advisor Lynn Tran took an online Roberts Rule Made Simple training on parliamentary procedures through OOG. Auditor Emmanuel Tajuba completed the following trainings: handling team conflict, fostering mentoring relationship, taking your team to the next level with delegation, and managing in a crisis. For trainings conducted by staff, since the last board meeting, OGE attorneys conducted 5 total ethics trainings, which included the monthly ethics trainings for the Department of Employment Services and the Department of Forensic Sciences, and 2 ethics presentations as part of the fundraising training for the DC One Fund kickoff. The virtual brown bag was skipped for the month of September in preparation of Ethics Week. 66 employees completed our online ethics training via PeopleSoft. Next is Ethics Week 2021. Our annual Ethics Week is scheduled to take place on October 18th through the 22nd, 2021. The theme for this year's program is Reapproaching Ethical Values. We have scheduled presentations that address ethics concerns in the virtual world, maintaining an ethical culture, ethics pitfalls, and health and wellness. The event will include guest speakers, Marcy Maslow, the Chief Integrity Builder for E-Factor, the educational board game for business ethics, as well as a legal ethics presentation by the DC Bar Association. OOG will provide Foia and Open Meetings Act presentations. Serve DC will present information on the donations process. Several ethics counselors will participate in a panel discussion, and General Counsel Raj will conduct 2 lunchtime yoga and ethics sessions. A finalized schedule was added to the Dropbox for the board's review. Okay, Learning Management System. OGE has started working with LRN to create content for its Ethics Learning Management System, LMS. The LMS will assist BEGA with training the district's 34,000 plus employees and public officials by providing remote, on-demand ethics trainings that are specifically tailored to the district's code of conduct. The LMS will serve as a central online location for OGE's ethics training resources and materials, and will provide data analytics, course completion, and tracking information. OGE plans to roll out the LMS in November. Next is our Miss Ethics video update. OGE spent the last 2 days filming and recording 2 Miss Ethics videos with Pendragon Productions. Pendragon created the original Miss Ethics video and the subsequent Ask Miss Ethics videos. These 2 videos will focus on financial disclosure nuances and how and when to report ethics violations and ethical conduct. The videos will be completed by the end of this month. And I would like to take this time to thank the staff who volunteered to record and also to be on film. Thank you guys, and I believe that the videos are going to be very nice. I can't wait to roll it out to the board and the public. Next is advisory opinions and advice. First, informal advice. We provided advice for approximately 47 ethics inquiries, which is 8 more than the 39 reported at the September meeting. This number does not include responses we have provided to questions regarding the lobbyist and FDS e-filing systems. OGE has drafted a sua sponte advisory opinion seeking or negotiating employment, which is designed to advise employees of the ethics rules surrounding seeking or negotiating employment, as well as the recusal requirements to avoid violating the financial conflict of interest statute or engaging in conduct that conflicts with their governmental duties and responsibilities. The opinion has not been posted to the DC Registry yet. A copy was placed in the Dropbox for the board's review. Next is legislation updates. On October 27, 2021, the Committee on the Judiciary and Public Safety will hold a virtual public hearing on the Pro Bono Legal Representation Expansion Amendment Act of 2021, Bill 24-0298. The bill is an amendment to Section 223 of the Ethics Act, which will allow employees to represent persons of limited income in affiliation with a nonprofit organization before district courts and federal courts and district and federal agencies. I plan to submit testimony in support of the bill. A copy of the notice and proposed bill was placed in the Dropbox for your review. Next, OGE administrative matters, OGE staffing. We are currently advising our vacancy announcement for an attorney advisor. The position will be open until October 20th and is posted on DCHR's careers website. The vacancy will also be posted on LinkedIn and Indeed as well. We have tentatively made a selection for a new administrative officer, but that is pending DCHR's approval right now. Next is relocation and new office space. The city administrator has approved the Department of General Services to issue a request for space on BEGA's behalf. Both OOG and OGE continue to work with the Department of General Services to pursue sufficient office space. We will meet with DGS next week to conduct site visits of leasing options. Okay, next is financial disclosure statement, FDS. For enforcement, the FDS team has produced a list comprised of 145 public filers who did not meet the filing deadline or who have not filed despite receiving notices and reminders to file. That list was provided to the Office of Pay and Retirement Services, OPRS, for automatic payroll deductions of fines. OPRS has processed a portion of that list. A list of confidential filers who have not filed or were late filers as determined by their agencies' financial disclosure review reports has also been sent to OPRS. 17 waiver requests have been received. Also, Auditor Tajuba requested 183 confidential disclosure statements from 33 agencies for review. Agencies have been contacted and have been responding with required information. Last is lobbying registration and reporting, LRR. OGE received 17 registrations in the e-file system. That includes 10 new registrations, 4 renewals, and 3 terminations. On September 29th, the LRR team sent an email to 582 active points of contact as reminders that the 2021 quarter 3 activity reports are due by October 15th. Thank you. This concludes the Office of Government Ethics October 7th, 2021 report.
Thank you, Director Cooks. Are there any questions for Director Cooks? Okay, hearing none. Thank you for a very thorough report, and we'll move to the next agenda item, which is our it's public comments. The public was invited to submit comments in writing by 11 a.m. today. GC Raj, were there any comments submitted for us?
There were 2 comments today. They are uploaded in PDF form in the box.
Okay. Public comments will be published with this month's meeting minutes. So now the next item on the agenda is the executive session / closed session.
Madam Chair, may I
It's-
make a request before we move on to the next one? I have serious concerns about the way this agency receives and posts public comments because of possible identity questions about the submitters. Can we defer this to the confidential portion of the meeting since it may involve litigation?
Sure.
Good.
Okay. Well, then let's move to that item. The executive session is next on the agenda, and this is to discuss ongoing confidential investigations pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B14, to consult with an attorney to obtain legal advice and to preserve the attorney-client privilege between an attorney and a public body pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B4. Personnel matters, including the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, performance evaluation, compensation, discipline, demotion, removal, or resignation of government appointees, employees, or officials pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 575B10, to deliberate on a decision in which the Ethics Board will exercise quasi-judicial functions pursuant to DC Official Code Section 2-575B13, and to discuss contract negotiation strategies pursuant to DC Official Code Section 2-575B2. May I have a motion to
So moved.
executive session? Is there a
So
second?
moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, let's move into executive session.
Kavon, Darrin is back in the attendee box. If you can move him, that'll be great. Moving to the panelist list.
Folks hear me?
I can hear you, Darrin. I think, are we waiting for the chair?
Probably.
Okay.
No, I think Norma's on. Norma, aren't you on? I see Norma's name.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Yes. Okay. Okay. It is now 2:10 p.m. and we have ended our, we are back in open session. So we have one item that we would like to address.
Shall I start?
Yes, please.
I'd like to make a motion to defer temporarily the publication of public comments to our meeting minutes and to remove them from the August meeting minutes and from the September meeting minutes until such time as this board can reconvene and discuss a policy regarding the republication of these public comments based on current litigation that's ongoing.
Okay, and I believe we also are doing this on advice of counsel. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second to Mr. Sobin's motion?
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions on the board?
Just to reiterate on behalf of, I'm sure we all would agree, this in no way dilutes or reduces the very high value and respect we all have for public comments and the public comment process. But this is under advice of counsel. This is, I think, an appropriate action that we're taking on a temporary basis. With that, that just to explain my second.
Okay. Okay. All in favor of that motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Ms. Tucker, are you voting?
Sorry, aye. I might have been on mute.
Okay. Felice Smith is not with us as we rejoin the open session. So that's the board members who are here voting in favor of the motion. So it passes. So with that, I think we have nothing further to discuss. And so this concludes the meeting of the DC Board of Government Accountability until our next meeting that is scheduled for November 4th. So everyone have a great, I think it's a holiday coming up this Monday, right?
Yep.
Well,
And
enjoy your
Speaker
holiday,
safe.
and we'll see you at our next meeting. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.